Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of, your favorite English podcast. I'm Emma, and with me, as always, is Mike.
Hello, everyone. We're so glad you could join us today. We've got a really fun topic lined up, and honestly, it's something a lot of people struggle with, right?
Right. Here's a quick question. Have you ever found yourself hesitating, like mid-sentence, wondering if you're using the right tense or phrase? Ugh, we've all been there. We're here to put an end to that hesitation. Today, we're diving into English grammar basics for intermediate speakers.
Exactly, Emma. English grammar can feel like a puzzle sometimes, right? But we're here to break it down into simple steps. So, if you're ready to boost your English and speak with confidence, stay tuned.
And if it's your first time listening, we'd really love for you to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out. So, get comfy and let's get started. All right, let's dive into some of the key grammar concepts we're going to cover today.
Guiding words, key grammar concepts.
First up, we have the perfect tenses. Perfect tenses help you express when something happened in relation to other events. It's all about connecting the dots between the past, present, and future.
Yes.
So, we're talking about present perfect, past perfect, and future perfect. Each one has its own use, but they all help show the timing of an action, especially when it's connected to other events, right?
Right.
For instance, if I say I have eaten, that's present perfect. It shows something that happened at some point before now, but it's still relevant. Then, if I say I had eaten before he arrived, that's past perfect, which lets us know the order of two past events.
Exactly. And there is future perfect. How would you describe future perfect, Emma?
So, future perfect is a bit like, I will have finished the project by tomorrow. It's perfect for describing something that'll be completed before a certain future moment.
Once you get comfortable with these, it really opens up how you talk about timing and sequences in English. Next up, we have modal verbs.
Modal verbs. Modal verbs are special auxiliary verbs in English that help express different attitudes or tones about actions. Modals like must, might, should, and could are great for adding nuance to what you say. For example, you should try this restaurant suggests advice. Whereas, you must try it sounds more like a strong recommendation.
And finally, there's conditionals.
Conditionals are all about cause and effect, and they're structured to say, if this happens, then that will happen. They're incredibly useful for expressing possibilities, wishes, or hypotheticals. Each type of conditional, 0, first, second, and third, lets us talk about possibilities, wishes, or even hypothetical situations. The 0 conditional talks about facts that are always true, like scientific facts or general truths. For example, if water reaches 100 degrees, it boils.
Exactly.
Then for first conditional, which is for real and possible situations in the future, think of it as talking about high likelihood scenarios, like, if it rains tomorrow, we'll cancel the picnic.
Exactly. Next is the second conditional, which is more hypothetical or unlikely. For instance, if I were rich, I would travel the world.
And then there's the third conditional, which helps us talk about things in the past that didn't happen, often with a sense of regret, like, if I had studied harder, I would have passed the test. It's perfect for those what could have been moments.
Absolutely. These concepts, along with the perfect tenses and modals, really give us a strong foundation to communicate clearly and naturally.
Let's dive into a quick conversation between two friends, Emily and Jake, who are planning to go on a trip.
Hello?
Hey, Jake. Are you all set for the trip tomorrow?
Almost. If we leave early, we'll avoid traffic. I was thinking we could hit the road by 7.
Sounds good to me. I've already packed my bag, so I'm ready whenever you are.
Nice. Honestly, I would have packed sooner if I'd known we were leaving that early. I just assumed we'd go around 9 or 10.
Yeah, it's better to get a head start. The earlier we leave, the more time we'll have to explore. Plus, if we get there by noon, we can grab lunch at that place you mentioned.
Exactly. By the time we arrive, I'll have mapped out the best spots to visit, so we won't waste any time.
Perfect. And if we're lucky, we might even get to check out that sunset view on the first day.
Oh, that's a great idea. If the weather's good, we'll definitely go. I've been looking forward to this for weeks.
Same. Let's just make sure we don't forget anything. If I had remembered last time, I would have packed a charger. I won't make that mistake again.
Good call. I'll double check my list tonight to make sure I've got everything. This trip is going to be amazing.
Key phrases. There you have it. Let's break down the key grammar in the dialogue.
First up, we have, if we leave early, we'll avoid traffic.
If we leave early, we'll avoid traffic. Basically, he's talking about a possible future event. So by starting the journey early, there is a possibility of fewer cars being on the road, hence they can bypass congestion.
Exactly. Next we have, I've already packed my bag.
I've already packed my bag. This is a present perfect to show that her luggage is ready for the trip. In other words, she got everything set for the trip ahead.
Exactly. Next we have, I would have packed sooner if I'd known.
I would have packed sooner if I'd known. He's expressing regret and he had no idea. This means he was not aware. Like he had no knowledge about it, but had he known, he probably would have been done with packing. Next we have, by the time we arrive, I'll have mapped out the best spots to visit. He's using the future perfect to show that once they reach their final destination, he'll have picked out the best places to see. It adds a sense of preparation and confidence.
Exactly. All these structures make their conversation sound smooth, organized, and thoughtful. Key components for effective communication.
All right, now that we've seen these grammar concepts in action, let's talk about how you can master them in your own conversations. How to master English grammar.
First, practice is key. One of the best ways to really understand grammar is to put it into use. Try writing your own sentences using the different structures we talked about, like making plans with if or expressing regrets with would have.
Absolutely. Writing your own sentences really makes a difference. You're not just learning the rules, you're actively using them, and that helps it stick. Plus, the more personal the sentences are, the more likely you are to remember them.
Another great tip is to listen closely to native speakers. Pay attention to how they use phrases like already, would have, and will have, whether it's in conversations, movies, or podcasts. Hearing these words in context can make a big difference.
Exactly. When you listen closely, you start noticing patterns, like how native speakers use different phrases naturally. It's one thing to know the grammar, but hearing it used in real-life conversations really helps you understand when and how to use it.
And don't forget to speak. Practice these phrases in your everyday conversations. Even if you're just talking to yourself or recording your voice, using these phrases aloud will help you feel more comfortable with them.
Yes, if you're just practicing alone, speaking out loud helps build your confidence. Sometimes just hearing yourself say these phrases makes a huge difference.
You can also create scenarios for yourself. Think about a past situation and say what you would have done differently, or make a plan for the future and use will have. It helps connect the grammar to real-life situations.
Exactly. Creating these scenarios makes grammar feel less abstract. You're applying it to something real, something personal. That way you understand not just the how, but also the why behind using certain phrases.
And if you're not sure if you're using them correctly, try finding a language partner to get some feedback. It's all about repetition, getting comfortable, and making it part of your natural speech.
Right. Feedback is crucial because it helps you catch those small mistakes that might go unnoticed. Having someone correct you, or even just give you encouragement, can make a big difference in your progress.
Exactly. The more you practice, immerse, and engage with the language, the more natural it will all become. And before you know it, these structures will be second nature.
Tip of the day. All right, listeners, today's tip of the day is immerse. To truly master English grammar, it's essential to immerse yourself in the language.
Exactly.
Immersion means surrounding yourself with English in your daily life. Listen to podcasts, watch movies, read books, or even think in English. The more you expose yourself to the language, the more natural it will feel.
It's not just about studying grammar rules. It's about experiencing how native speakers use those rules. When you immerse yourself, you start picking up on the patterns and expressions naturally without having to overthink it.
So today, find ways to immerse yourself in English. It could be as simple as watching an English TV show, listening to music, or reading a short article. The key is to let the language be part of your environment.
The more you immerse yourself, the more progress you'll see. Make it a habit, and soon enough, English will start feeling second nature.
Audio recap. Key grammar concepts in sentences. First up, perfect tense. Already. She's already seen that movie twice. By tomorrow, I will have finished the project. Then, she's been waiting for over an hour. They haven't spoken since the argument. Yet, they haven't made a decision yet. Next, modals. He could come over for dinner if he's free. We might visit the park later today. You should try the new restaurant downtown. They must have forgotten the meeting. He might have left his keys at the office. And finally, conditionals. If we leave now, we'll make it on time. I would have joined you, but I had work. If I had the time, I'd help you out. I won't leave until you arrive. Even though it was cold, they still went swimming.
All right. Before we go, let's recap what we talked about today. We explored some key English grammar concepts like perfect tenses, modal verbs, and conditionals, and we discussed why these are so important for clear communication.
We also heard a real conversation between Emily and Jake, which showed these grammar structures in action. Seeing how they worked in context made it easier to understand their practical use.
And don't forget, today's tip was to immerse yourself in the language. The more English you surround yourself with, the more comfortable you'll become with using it naturally.
If you found today's episode helpful, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and share it with anyone else who's on their language learning journey. Leave us a review in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.
Most importantly, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss out on the upcoming episodes. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Keep practicing, keep immersing yourself in English, and we'll see you next time.